Hey, it's Sick Boy from the Gaminganarchist, and welcome to the Anarchic. Okay, I've got a few things to get through today. First of all, a little bit of good news for me, and well, hopeful news, because the last game was frankly a bit poor. But Wolfenstein: A New Order is coming to Q4 2013. On Xbox, PS3 and PC, as well as next-gen consoles, will be released by that time. So, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm hoping it's actually going to be something pretty good, because Rage was not what I was hoping it to be. This isn't actually coming out of ID Software, though. This is coming from Bethesda. Now, this is going to be taking the 1960s standard alternate future. Nazis won the Second World War, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I'm kind of hoping, I'm excited to see if it's going to be any good, to be honest. The last one, not great, but Return to Wolfenstein was an incredible game. The original, played it to absolute death, so I'm happy to see that. And, you know, obviously it's going to still star BJ Blazkowicz, which is nice. Actually, interesting couple of facts on that. In the Doom 2 RPG, I believe it is, they gave a name to their Doom guy. Whether it's the canonical Doom guy for the whole series, but that Doom guy was also called Blazkowicz. And they mentioned that the Cyber Demon was actually the demon that was killed in the Wolfenstein RPG game, and then was fused with techno-organic stuff, and then became the Cyber Demon. That's pretty cool. Also, anyone who remembers Commander Keen, Billy Blaze, Commander Keen is BJ Blazkowicz's grandson. Random little gaming trivia fact for you there, but one to go along with. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see if Bethesda can do something and publish a decent game, and see if it's any good. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Right, there's three bits of big news. One I'm going to go on to quickly. One is that the PlayStation 4, they have announced that the share button, that developers will be allowed to deactivate the share button at certain points of the game. Now, I see both sides of the argument on this one. The statement that they've had here is that Yoshida, this is as translated, because it was presented in Japanese, there will be parts of a game that the maker does not want people to be able to see. For example, on Vita, developers can, in certain scenes, disable the feature that lets users take a screenshot. And the share function will have a similar mechanism. The creator may not want to make a video of the final boss battle shareable, for instance. Okay, let's be real now. A lot of people are going to be understandably quite pissed at the idea of that, thinking that it's disgusting that they're going to be taking control. However, I do see the concept of this being a bit of spoilerific. However, they are missing the point that anybody with capture card software, or even a mobile phone, can film the game and share it. Okay, so this is a way of them utilising copyright law and utilising it to their benefit and stopping people from using the system. Now, I can understand the concept of saying we don't want spoilers. We don't want to broadcast spoilers. We don't want game viewers, people on your PSN network, to join the game at the end stage or offer all the help and things that they were saying that the share button will offer. So, you know, they might want to say, well, no, we want to make sure that it's the player who beats the game. Not that you can't hand the controller to somebody else. So, I get why they've done it, and I also get why it's not, why a lot of people are going to get pissed off about it. However, that is something that they will be building in a developer's choice, a limitation on the share function on the PlayStation 4. Links, as always, will be in the description field. Okay, other two bits. I want to start first because they're both big uns. No, yes I do. Okay, right. EA have reached a deal with Disney, an exclusivity deal with Disney, and they will get exclusive rights to create and publish Star Wars franchise games. Now, they have identified that they will be working, all things will be created within the Frostbite engine. They'll be utilising their developers DICE, Visceral and BioWare. Now, for somebody who's not boycotting EA, because I'm boycotting EA until further notice, so I'm not going to pick up any games that they buy. So from my perspective, it's a massive pisser that EA have got these rights, and I'm not going to buy a single Star Wars game on the grounds of that. I'm not. Fuck EA. However, taking myself away from the fact that I can't stand EA for a second before I go into a bit of why I do, there is, you know, BioWare has history of Star Wars games. Yeah, you know, Knights of the Old Republic was a good game. Their MMO, not so good. Their MMO was not great. It wasn't a great game. They have made good Star Wars franchise games in the past. Visceral, with their expertise in third-person shooter mechanics, could make a great Star Wars game. They have the capability to make a great Star Wars game. And as do DICE, however, could make a terrific quality Star Wars shooter. So I can see why, as a fan and someone who's not boycotting EA, you might be a bit excited about this idea. However, with EA comes all the problems that are with EA. Locking down of reviews until the game's out, standard bloody practice. Day one DLC, obscene amounts of DLC, online passes, there'll be season passes. They've started putting product placement fucking DLC in their games with SimCity. They're adding bloody product placement DLC. It's going to be standard EA consumer rape fest. That's what these games are going to be. And I can understand that perhaps Disney felt they were over a barrel, that they feel that, you know, BioWare was one of the developers that I'm sure they would work with again. LucasArts worked well with BioWare, so they thought maybe they can take their experience and make another game that make it worthwhile. And that's a fairly logical assumption. Of course, BioWare is now entirely owned by EA. But what fucks me off about this, more than anything, is there are loads of developers out there who would love to have a crack at Star Wars, okay? You shut down LucasArts, and then you subcontracted the work that everyone had assumed you were taking to Disney Interactive and sent it to EA! You sent it to the fucking worst publisher. The worst quality publisher when it comes to all they do is milk franchises. Now, one thing that they have made as part of that deal is that they cannot make mobile games. So there won't be any cow-clicking, pay-to-play, ridiculous bloody Simpsons games where they absolutely rape consumers. They won't be able to do that. Disney Interactive are going to take hold of doing that task. So EA won't be knackering mobile Star Wars games. However, the AAA games, you know, they're going to be a nightmare. They're going to be a season pass, DLC-riddled fucking nightmare. That's a sad fact of the matter. So, I'm really upset about this. I mean, I was on the side of Disney for saying, LucasArts, yeah, you've had your time. We're shutting you down. We've got Disney Interactive. We don't need you. But as it turns out, clearly you fucking do, because you've just sold all the rights to EA. The reasons that made sense to get rid of LucasArts are the same reason it doesn't make any fucking sense to go to EA. You have an in-house publishing house. You have it. You have game publishers. You could utilise your ties with Square Enix. You could have had a free reign. Square Enix could have done an action RPG for you. Based on, I don't know, considering the style of Kingdom Hearts. Can you imagine if they made a Clone Wars action RPG based on the Clone Wars animated series? That would be a lot of fun. That would have been fun. And yeah, I understand utilising Visceral Games because they're a good development house. DICE, they're a good development house. BioWare, hit and miss. They've made some great shit in the past, but they've also made some big fuck-ups. And EA have done nothing but fuck-up franchises. And the Star Wars franchise is not coming from a position of strength when it comes to video games anyway. There's been some great games and a lot of shitty ones. So I worry, for those of you who are big Star Wars fans, be worried. Be very worried, because it doesn't look to me like the future of your games is going to be particularly rosy. That's just an unfortunate fact of the matter. Okie dokie. Right. First, the main bit of news. Now, I am going to report on this, and I'm going to give you my spin on things, because I've seen a lot of news about this, and I want to put this record straight how I see it. Now, there has been a leaked memo from Microsoft saying the next Xbox will work offline. So that's some great fucking news right there. I'm going to toast that. If this is true, and this is just another rumour, however, if this is true, we've all got a good reason to be happy. I can call off my own personal dogs and my own anger and fucking aggression towards Microsoft. Microsoft's still not my favourite company, but I don't want to have them skinned alive. And that means my automatic boycott of the Xbox won't be going forward if this is true. I will consider it based on how it compares to the PS4, because I'm certainly not going to buy both at launch. That would be insane. So, I may not buy either if they still fuck up, but there we go. Right, so here is an internal memo, okay? This is why I want you to pay attention to the logic behind this before I go off and see if you come to the same conclusion as me, because I don't want to lead you in the way that some other people do. You know, reach your own conclusions. Right. Now, an internal memo, okay, was sent to all the full-time employees who work on the next Xbox, right? Durango is designed to deliver the future of entertainment while engineered to be tolerant to today's internet. There are numbers of scenarios that our users expect to work without an internet connection, and these should just work regardless of their current connection status. These include, but are not limited to, playing a Blu-ray disc, watching live TV, and yes, playing a single-player game. Right. So, that memo clearly says no always online DRM for the Xbox. Now, a lot of people are saying people were overreacting, because I was one of those people, and I don't believe I overreacted in the slightest. They were saying that the rumour mill shouldn't be listened to, blah, blah. This is still a fucking rumour, mind you. This is a leaked memo from a supposed full-time Microsoft employee. Now, when you consider, okay, Adam Orth recently lost his job. He resigned a couple of days following controversy over making comments about Always Online, okay? Now, whether you believe or not he was fired, I personally believe they came to an arrangement and they told him it was his best interest to move on. His career was over. That is how these things work, in my opinion. Now, whether you see that or not, he came out, publicly supported online DRM. He left the company within a few days. And then, before that and after that, the uproar about the Always Online was immense. Before I even started videos, I started arguing about Microsoft's abuses with regards to online monitoring and DRM. It was a despicable concept. Now, it looks like they've seen the backlash, they've seen the uproar and gone, shit, this isn't going to fly. This isn't going to fly. Consumers are going to go and fucking batshit at us. They are threatening to boycott the system. We need to do something. We can't go ahead with this scheme. Because, do you know what? I've worked in big industry, okay? I mean, big industry. Industry that's on par with Microsoft. Companies the size of Microsoft, okay? Big fucking companies. Now, they are companies that come under a significant degree of PR pressure from groups. In some cases, violent terror groups. So, Microsoft's got nothing on some of my previous employees and clients, okay? Now, when you do not send out a memo. If you worked in a laboratory, an animal testing laboratory, you would not send out a memo to go, by the way, just so everybody knows, it is not company policy to rape the dogs. Please be sure not to rape the dogs. Okay, if you have to say that, you are negating a previously accepted position. That is like, you deny things too much. If you had a small child and you wanted to go to a school, and the school implicitly said, our teachers have a strict no raping of children policy, you'd think, why is there a policy for that? Why has that been circulated internally as a thing, oh, FYI, we're not doing this thing? That, to me, is backpedaling and getting sure everybody is on company message that you do not mention DRM. DRM is to be scrapped. We are not going to mention it again. We are maybe going to try it in the next generation, but as of right now, we're not going to do it. And the only reason we're not going to do it is because of the internet quality. Not because it's an abuse of privacy. I personally see it as abuse of privacy and an attack on free market sales. However, they're talking about it purely on the, but some people don't have internet. They said, sensitivity of current internet. That was the whole argument against Adam Wolf, and he was saying, well, you live somewhere shit with no internet, move. This is not a case of it never happening and we should all just calm down. This is a matter that I believe that everybody who spoke out and was vocal against Microsoft, spoke vocal against this, and when it was alleged that the PS4 may also always be online, you were right and you did your job as a consumer by saying loudly and proudly, I will not stand for these practices. If you do this, I will boycott you, and if possible, I will seek legal action against you if your actions are in fact illegal. Which in this instance, when it came to blocking used games, I believe fully that they were. As well as using Kinect to stop the fucking films playing if an unregistered user walked into the line of sight of the Kinect. That is illegal. That is illegal. That is totally against fair use legislation. It is bullshit. Okay, so I applaud everybody who spoke out against this. And it's not over. There is no guarantee it's over. I'm not going to go on about it now until there's any kind of confirmation that it is. However, I am not going to feel bad, and I'm not going to retract or apologise for attacking Microsoft. Because I believe I was fully right to do so, and this is nothing more than a U-turn from terrified executives who have had to now tell the development team, there is no always online. There never was an always online. Make it offline. That is what that is. In my perspective, that is how I see things. It is certainly not a case of the internet jumping all over things and getting all whingy for nothing. I think we did our job as consumers. And I'd like to thank everybody who lent their voice to this just en masse pressure on Microsoft. I believe it's made a difference. I believe it's changed things. And we should all feel very proud of that. Anyway, guys, you've been looking through the 2020 vision of the Anarchic Eye, and I'll catch you guys later.